Here is an update on the COVID-19 situation as of April 8th. As of midnight, there were 14,944 new cases. There were 31 COVID-19 deaths, which brings the death toll to 35,259, or 0.82% of the total number of cases.
As of April 9th, there were 10,177 new cases. There were 21 COVID-19 deaths, which brings the death toll to 35,280, or 0.82% of the total number of cases. Here is an update on the COVID-19 situation as of April 10th. There were 8,112 new cases, 4 COVID-19 deaths, which brings the death toll to 35,292, or 0.82% of the total number of cases.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob reiterates that the government will not reinforce any movement control order or declare another emergency despite a surge in COVID-19 infections. The agency adds need to live with COVID-19 and view it as an endemic just like other infectious diseases like the flu and dengue, and keep complying with SOPs to keep COVID under control.
Are you ready to face COVID-19? There are many preventions against COVID, such as putting on face mask whenever you are outside, washing your hands regularly. But the problem now is that we can't really wash hands everywhere. And washing hands too regularly also may result in skin conditions such as chronic skin damage, irritant contact dermatitis, and eczema. Therefore, to be safe, we made use of hand sanitizers. But there are so many options out there. So which are the safest and most effective ones against COVID? First of all, we will talk about the alcohol sanitizers.
When you soak a virus in alcohol, in this case either ethanol or isopropanol, and let it air dry, the alcohol breaks down the fatty lipid bilayer that holds the virus together. Specifically, you'll find 70% alcohol easily available. Anything between 60% and 80% alcohol will work just fine. Now, sometimes people will assume that if 70% alcohol is good at destroying a virus, then 90% must be better. But that's not true. Anything over 80% alcohol will evaporate too quickly and may not have enough time to destroy the lipid membrane sufficiently. Similarly, alcohol that's weaker than 60% will not destroy the virus's lipid bilayer. It has too much water in it. That also means you shouldn't try to use alcohol that is meant for human consumption to kill the virus. A standard bottle of vodka is 80 proof, which means that it's only 40% alcohol and will not effectively destroy the virus.
Hand sanitizer burns with an almost invisible flame. So here's the flame here. You basically can't see it, but if I put a piece of paper into the flame, it sets on fire. If I turn the lights down in the room and turn up the sensitivity of the camera, you can just about see the flame. The reason a hand sanitizer fire is hard to see is because of the thing that's burning. In most cases, the ingredient that we're interested in is ethanol, and ethanol just burns with a really pale flame. To see why, think about why a normal fire burns brightly. It's usually because of soot. So when a fire doesn't burn cleanly, you end up with particles of soot. That's unburnt carbon. And when these particles get hot, they glow. By the way, although a hand sanitizer fire is relatively cool, it's still hot and it's still dangerous, and it's only for adults to try. If you are going to try it, it's important to assess the risks for yourself. Even worse is methanol. It's even harder to see, and actually methanol used to be used in auto racing as a fuel, and the reason they stopped, of course, is because you'd have these auto crashes, there'd be a fire and you couldn't see it. People would run in and they didn't know they were running into a fireball, so they switched fuels.
Are silver nanoparticles good or bad for you? To help answer this, we thought we'd round up 7 facts about silver nano that may surprise you. 1. Silver nanoparticles are released from silverware. Drink water from a silver jug or eat with a silver spoon, and you are drinking and eating silver nanoparticles. As silverware has been around since Roman times, we've been doing this for a couple of millennia now. And of course, if you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you've probably been doing it more than most. 2. People have been intentionally dosing themselves with silver nanoparticles for over 100 years. Colloidal silver, suspensions of silver nanoparticles in a liquid, were popular before modern antibiotics came along. Their use has become widespread again in recent years as a cure for, well, if you read the claims, almost anything apparently. There is no clear evidence that drinking colloidal silver is good for you, but the evidence never stopped people from self-medicating before. 3. Silver nanoparticles are pretty good at killing microbes, but it's the silver ions that they slowly release that do most of the damage. This means you don't necessarily need nanoparticles to make products that kill bugs using silver. 4. It's hard for pathogens to develop resistance to silver nanoparticles because they interfere with microbes in multiple different ways. However, indiscriminate use of silver as an antibacterial agent could still increase the chances of resistance developing, which isn't great news if you're relying on it to protect particularly vulnerable patients. 5. If you're exposed to enough silver, it'll turn your skin blue, a condition called argyria. This is cosmetically interesting, but not fatal. In fact, it's thought that royals were originally called blue bloods because, you guessed it, those silver spoons turned their lips a delicate shade of royal blue. 6. Silver nanoparticles aren't likely to be much more dangerous than other forms of silver in the human body, as it's the ions that cause the most damage. Although it's still possible that research may throw up some surprises. Nanoparticles, for instance, might find it easier to get to sensitive places like inside cells before dissolving and releasing their payload of silver ions. And we may still find that the nanoparticles trigger the body's immune system in ways that ions do not. That said, a couple of millennia of imbibing silver nanoparticles hasn't thrown up any obvious risk red flags yet. 7. In contrast, silver is bad news for the environment. We learned this with environmental contamination from the photographic film industry. Silver nanoparticles are at least as harmful as the same amount of silver in any other form, possibly more so if the nanoparticles can get to places other forms of silver cannot. This has got some people wondering whether putting silver in everything from socks and kids' toys to bedsheets and carpets is a bad idea.
Next, let's talk about chlorine disinfectant.
Well, possibly researchers have linked the use of regular using disinfectant products such as bleach and hydrogen peroxide to an increased risk of developing fatal lung conditions including emphysema, chronic bronchitis and chronic asthma. But this is actually very serious for those who work in the cleaning industry or those who are in environments like hospitals where a lot of bleach is used.
The research involved data from more than 55,000 nurses in the US, so people who were working regularly using disinfectants, and it found that all of the chemicals that I mentioned before were associated with an increased risk of between 24% and 32% of developing COPD, which includes various potentially fatal conditions that can cause breathing problems.
What does consumers think?
Our viewer Tanya tells me she uses bleach all the time. She's always cleaning something, but she's wondering if she should switch to something a little more natural. What's your thought on that?
Oh, absolutely. Chlorine is actually a known carcinogen, and it's very damaging to the lungs, so you're breathing it in as you smell the bleach, and a lot of people associate clean with bleach, so it's hard to get away from that. And you're also absorbing it through your skin. Very, very harmful, and it's harmful to the gut biome. We keep talking about the biome, but because bleach is such a strong antimicrobial, it actually, as we ingest it or breathe it in, it can kill the good bacteria in our guts.
That now, I mean, you can go in almost all grocery stores, and they have like the little green cleaning section. It costs a little more, but it sounds like that might be one expense that you would want to consider.
Absolutely, not only for yourself, but your families. And you think about one thing I want to add really quickly is the floor. So if you've got little babies crawling around on the floor and you're using chemicals to clean the floor, those babies are absorbing those chemicals through their hands and their knees and their feet, or if you walk around barefoot in your house. So it's a really good idea to use natural solutions.
Thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
What about Natural Cow Sanitizer? Natural Cow is made of calcium. It deactivates COVID-19 and disables their reproductive system. It is safe to use on the body as calcium is not harmful to human body. SGS tested that Natural Co. is able to remove 99.99% of COVID-19 virus in just 30 seconds. Meanwhile, Viroxy Labs has confirmed that Natural Co. is able to stay effective up to 24 hours. TGA from Australia certified that Natural Co. has already met their requirement standard throughout the experiments within 30 seconds. Natural Co. is able to remove 99.99% of COVID-19 virus. Natural Co. is non-toxic, odorless, and contains no alcohol. Aside from sanitizing, it can also be used for cleaning vegetables and as odor remover.
What is the proper way to use sanitizer?
Nowadays, COVID-19
Nowadays, the
virus
COVID-19
can be
virus
anywhere.
can be
We
anywhere
do
we
not
go.
see it, but they
We should do
actually
whatever it
exist.
takes to
But the
protect our
fact is that
family.
virus
As you
can
can
still
see,
enter by the
virus can
side
still
of the
enter
masks.
through the
Especially
sides of
these
the mask.
days, some people do not wear their
Especially
masks properly.
these days.
Therefore, we need another layer of protection, which is the sanitizer spray. This helps with creating a 24 hours protection layer against COVID-19 and other pathogens. This Natural Co. is a non-alcohol skin-friendly sanitizer. You don't have to worry about dry skin, but instead, you can feel a layer of powder on your hands, making your hands feel smooth, like pearl. Well, due to its 24 hours long-lasting effectiveness, unless you washed it during the day, it feels really convenient that parents worry no more for their children at school for being vulnerable to COVID-19 and other pathogens. Since we are done with our protection, let's see what Natural Co. can do more. Natural Co. can be used as vegetable wash. Well, here, we have some grapes.
Children nowadays loves to eat grapes, but there are a lot of agricultural chemicals on the grapes. Take a look at all these substances used on the fruits. What should I do? Well, it is very simple. All you need to do is washing the grapes with Natural Co. When it is all good, we shall leave it for 20 minutes. 20 minutes have passed. Now we pour in some water, and then we wash the fruits. Let's see the difference. The one washed with only water still has a layer of wax on it. But then with Natural Co., the grape skin is clean and shiny.
Let's see the difference.
This way can eat healthier and happier. Next we have some cherry tomatoes. First we put the tomatoes into 2 containers. Then we do the same by adding in some Natural Co. Remember to spray thoroughly. Wait for 20 minutes and let the magic happen. 20 minutes as
Then
have
we
passed.
add some water. Add in some
Then
water.
we shake the
And now
chemicals
we shake
out.
the
The chemicals out. Let's see the final result. The one on my left side is washed with only water, while the one on my right side is washed with Natural Co. Alright, the difference is obvious that the one washed with Natural Co. has removed most of the chemicals from the cherry tomato skin surface. Well, since it's clean, we can have one. That's great.
Besides that, you can rinse your mouth with Natural Co., cleaning a wound, while keeping you safe from pathogens. It is also a good option for those who is allergy to alcohol. With just a spray of Natural Co., will keep you protected from COVID-19 for up to 24 hours, and a 99.99% effectiveness to eliminate COVID-19 and other harmful pathogens. It is also non-alcohol and doesn't cause explosion. One bottle of 500 milliliters of Natural Co. sanitizer will only cost you 130 ringgit, and an extra 10 ringgit if you are from east of Malaysia. With Natural Co., you are able to keep yourself safe from COVID-19, eat healthier, and remove indecent odor, meantime making sure that your family stays safe and sound.
Today money means a lot for us.